Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Pony 411. This is number 300 for October 13th, 2020. I'm Nemesis, and as you heard there, Alca7raz is here too.
Hey.
Yeah, episode 300. We've done this, well, I've done this 300 times now.
Yeah, it took me a few before I joined up.
Yeah. And by coincidence as well, we are recording it on the 10th anniversary of Friendship is Magic's premiere.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is currently, as of recording, October 10th.
Yeah,
Saturday.
So two, I guess, milestones for us kind of lined right up perfectly.
Yeah.
Again, we did not plan this initially until, we just kind of looked like a month ago. Hey, it's actually pretty about right. What do you know?
Yep.
It also kind of made things good because now it gives us an excuse to do things the way we're doing it this time, because I was like, I don't know what to do now the Pony Life's over. Well, season 1 of Pony Life's anyway.
Well, yeah, I don't know what to do. Well, then we know what to do, because it's kind of a special time.
Yep. So, so we're going to have a bit of a discussion later, but first we'll have some news. Comics have come out, and at the end of the show we'll have some fan content stuff to wrap it all up.
Yep.
So, we're going to start with news. If you want to follow along, go to pony411.libsyn.com/show-notes. It's spelled LABSYN, and links will be there to get more details and whatnot as we go. So I guess other news of sorts. I didn't know where to put this, honestly, because of what it is.
Yeah.
The My Little Pony Live, if you remember that, has a soundtrack demo out. The composer for it put it up on SoundCloud, 3 of the songs.
Interesting.
And I've listened to little bits of it here and there. It just kind of sounds kind of poppy electronic stuff, so okay.
Okay.
Definitely not, main six, because it's live. It's not the same VAs.
Yeah.
Merchandise news, though. Hallmark has revealed the Rainbow Dash and Pinkie Pie ornaments for this year, if you want to check those out and hang them on your Christmas tree or whatever.
I keep thinking about getting them, but we never really put up a tree, and I never get them anyway. And again, it's like, they look kind of cool, and I kind of want the Rainbow Dash one, but I'll probably never get it, even though I kind of think I want it.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just never do.
Yeah. And the Light Bright and Twister ponies have appeared in Canada.
Canada.
Yep, Canada has those. I'm just still waiting on the Transformer one to appear on Hasbro Pulse or something. Still hasn't. The Just Play MLP plushies now have some stock images because they announced those a while ago. Now we have pictures of what they'll look like. And for whatever reason, Twilight does not have wings. I do
Are they
not
one
know
of those
why.
people who didn't like the season 3?
I don't know.
Wait.
At least I don't see. Wait. I think it might be that wings is hard to see because her mane might be in the way of the stock image. It's really small.
Oh, if it's one of those, kind of like some of the older ones here where they're
on the spine.
Maybe Aurora ones did that. It's right directly on the spine, and the stock image is like perfectly vertical.
I think it's just her hair's in the way. I'm looking, and there's a bit of purple behind the pink there, so I'm like, I think that actually might be. Then again, I don't know. The other image doesn't seem to have it at all.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The Kotobukiya Sunset Shimmer and limited edition Twilight Sparkle Bishojo figures are now available for pre-order. Actually, I believe the Twilight Sparkle might actually straight up be available now. At least maybe. It's kind of hard to tell because I saw it was still in stock. Yeah.
Pre-order it and wait for it to
Koto
show up.
US says it's in stock, but it also says pre-order. But so it's like, but it's coming out in November, which is like, for me, unfortunately. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get it.
Well, at this rate, you can add another couple months to when they say it's going to come out, given the way things are going. My Rainbow Dash still hasn't shipped, and they pushed that one out another release out into October instead of September. They keep pushing it.
Yeah, I don't know. And Renegades Game Studios has partnered with Hasbro, and they're working on MLP tabletop RPG, among other franchises of Hasbro's.
Neat.
Yep.
More tabletop ponies.
Mm-hmm. And in Pony Life Generation 5 news, Pony Life is coming to Discovery Family after all.
Yep.
I thought for sure that was done, but no, apparently they just announced it for later, so I don't know what the heck they're doing with this franchise anymore.
No. I'm not entirely certain everyone in Hasbro knows what they're doing with it either.
Yeah. I'm guessing COVID just really threw them for a loop.
It threw a lot of people for a loop.
They didn't really know how to handle this.
Yeah.
And Hasbro talked about G5 and Pony Life for a bit at the Festival of Licensing, but the Sophisto made a very poor write-up and didn't link the source properly, so I don't know if he's actually right or not.
Yeah, one thing I was trying to find one, and I don't know if there is any like official source or not. A whole bunch of people have write-ups of it, but no one seems to link like a central article. So I wonder if there is none.
There
and it was
is.
just what people have
I
written
found
up
it.
while they're there.
I found it kind of. Unfortunately, it's behind an account. You have to make an account with their Festival of Licensing site to be able to view the stream.
Right.
And I don't want to go through that rigmarole.
Yeah, because I know, like, I think at least some of the places did another write-up of it.
Like, I know TFW did, but their little write-up of the pony thing. Oh, there was a lot of stuff. There's too much. We're not going to cover it.
Yeah,
cool. Thanks, guys.
Yeah. We heard more. There was mentions of stuff, old cast and new cast as well.
Yeah.
But
the thing is, I don't trust Seth on this because he frequently misinterprets things when it comes to this. So I don't trust his word on his wording because he has screwed up so many times in the past on this sort of thing, on reporting.
Yeah, well, TFW also.
Yeah, like I said,
is saying similar words. So
well, TFW's words were just there's a lot of stuff.
New generation of ponies to a new generation of fans is the word they use.
Not the version I saw. They just say, yeah, there's a lot. Oh, hey, there it is. According to TFW, My Little Prime found at U.S. retail.
Oh, hey.
There we go. Merchandise news.
Hey.
It was discovered this morning. Which store did they say? Think Geek in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
That still exists?
Yeah, Think Geek still exists. They're part of GameStop and everything.
Yeah, I know I got bought a while back. I used to get stuff from them.
Oh, yeah, that's the same article. They changed it. Oh, they're just talking about Pony Life there. Oh, that's the CGI movie. Again, because it used to not be there. Okay, it's a new generation, brand new cast. Old cast will be featured. Majority of the focus will be on new characters. New ensemble cast means choosing individuals. Okay, working with a powerhouse like Paramount. Okay. Movie releasing September 24th. Okay. Yeah, that was not there before. They must have edited it. Okay.
There is new, I guess, sort of new news and more somewhat confirmation. Again, there's no direct link to anything. That's just people say that they were there. So write-ups from people who were there or whatnot. Yeah, I would like to see more official, like a press release from Hasbro saying these things.
Yeah, again, I've seen people, especially since the person there who wrote it for TFW was more focused on Transformers.
Yeah,
they're kind of good. It's like it probably wouldn't surprise me if they don't really know much about the pony thing, so they're just kind of just regurgitating what they heard. And that was also the thing is that I've seen the Hasbro stuff. They've also misspoken about these things before, several times.
I would love to see the official recording of the panel or an official press release.
Okay, so yeah, but anyway,
links to those.
The other thing is the My Little Prime is out for about $13 at ThinkGeek.
$13. I totally forgot ThinkGeek was even a thing.
Yeah. Yeah, because they shut down the website, but now they have physical locations, which are essentially just all the non-game stuff from GameStop. Because it's the same company. But yeah, that's the news. Seth is still bad at this. You think it would have improved sometime in the last 10 years, but no, not really.
That requires, intending to improve.
But anyway, we have a couple comics to talk about that came out over the last couple weeks. Friendship is Magic number 90 came out, the second part of season 10. I guess season 10, episode 2. Which is written by Jeremy Whitley with art by Andy Price and colors by Heather Breckel, as usual.
As usual.
Yeah, in which case we get some backstory about why Zecora doesn't seem to want to be here finally, including, hey, the friends she feels like she was mistreated by her friends, and so she just left, and then turns out her friends feel like she just abandoned them. Okay, yeah, because we got the other side of the story, and also Tempest is learning about this place, shall we say.
Yes, learning.
Also a thing attacks the village, and we got the prince showing up. And now they're going to go figure out why they're being attacked, and that's the setup for the next issue, I guess.
Yep, the Groot slang.
You got your quest. Now go slay the dragon. Yeah, still pretty good. I really did like the bit with Tempest just kind of asking about...
what are the weaknesses of this place? They could totally take this place out.
What are Earth's defenses, father?
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty good still. Yeah, the good old thing about, hey, there's two sides to every story, that sort of thing.
Right. There's two sides. That was actually one thing. At first, I was a little worried about it, but I did end up liking the way they did it. It showed that neither side was completely innocent on that one, but it's not like I've seen in a lot of other places where, oh, you just misinterpreted it all, and that was all. It was like they didn't go with, oh, it's all Zekora's fault because she misinterpreted something. Like, no, the other group did actually screw up too.
Yep. Yeah, because I got one of them. Yeah, we also learned a little bit about some of the other species. They finally did some info drops. That's good.
Yeah, 2 Kelpies, 2 Abata, however you want to pronounce that.
Yeah. Abba. They also just a little joke about how they think unicorns are a myth.
Yep.
Like, okay, that's interesting. I guess they were really isolated from one another.
Yes. So yeah, apparently unicorns were a myth, and they didn't think anyone could actually control magic like that. And that's actually the whole thing. Zecora was like, nope, I'm gonna learn magic. Yeah. Screw y'all.
Because I guess the part of it is just they had to simply explain why was there only one zebra for the entire series.
Yeah.
Because the zebra are isolated. Shut up.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty all right.
I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it. It's just, it's kind of low key in many ways. Except for the bit with when the monster shows up.
Yeah.
And then Zecora saved the day. That was the thing. And everyone's like, oh, wow, you really did learn magic.
Yeah, but not quite.
She learned how to make potions.
Yep.
Yeah, so still, I guess, recommend picking that one up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other thing that came out this week is Friendship in Disguise #3, in which Fluttershy meets Soundwave, and Rainbow Dash meets Windblade. Let's see, so Pet Sounds, the first story is written by James Asmus with artist Jack Lawrence, colors by Luis Antonio Delgado, and letterer Jake M. Wood. Yeah, which Fluttershy and Discord are having a tea party, and then Soundwave shows up with his tapes, and
his tapes.
There's threats and whatnot.
Tapes.
Yep.
You mean his pets?
No, his children. Fluttershy be ashamed. But anyway, they come in threatening, and then Fluttershy winds up befriending them, even though Frenzy almost screws it all up. Because he can't help himself. Of course, someone would insist that tape guy's not Frenzy, he's in fact Rumble. And then you're going to find if you ever start asking questions about that, be afraid. Be prepared for lots of arguing and stupidity. Yeah, it's and also Discord does his own thing.
Yeah, there's a bunch of, and anytime Discord shows up, you can always do a lot of fun references. He transforms into a lot of things.
Yes.
Including the speaker thing from the vinyl scratch. I think was that the Guardians of Harmony thing?
Yeah. Well,
yeah. One of the big figures.
Yep.
I can't remember which
one.
And
also it was in Slice of Life.
Yep, it was used in Slice of Life. So that was neat.
Frenzy screws up and almost gets them all killed because Discord got mad.
Yeah.
But then Soundwave kind of like, I like friendship, so I'm just going to sit here and have a good time, and which is a little, not quite right, I feel, but whatever.
Yeah.
The second story is Rainbow Dash with Windblade, and it's The Flying Foxtrot, and written by Sam Maggs with artist Priscilla Tramontano, and colored by Luis Antonio Delgado, and lettered Neil Utake. Yeah, which, Rainbow Dash flying around, then Windblade shows up, and Dash is like, I'm the fastest here, and like, you were the fastest. No, I'm still the fastest. And then they decide to race.
Yep.
And there's other racers there, and then this Misfire and the Rainmakers show up and ruin everything and attack, but they win, because of course. And then they decide, we're going to be high and be friends and blah.
Yeah.
Interesting of them to take one of the more controversial Transformer characters and slap it into the Rainbow Dash story.
Oh.
Windblade is very controversial just because she exists and she's a girl.
Oh, right.
Even though she was the fan vote character. People don't like her characterization in the comic because those SJWs, that sort of thing.
Yes.
That's fun time.
And anytime that there's a prominent female character, we get, oh no, them SJWs are ruining everything.
Also, yes, screams of she's a Mary Sue and blah, 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 blah.
Yes. Yep.
Maybe, yeah, Misfire in the Rainmakers, I think. Yeah, I think those are Rainmakers. Yeah. There's a bunch of different Seekers. I'll say that. But anyway, yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's
the only
fun.
thing I was a little bit weird about during the race, Dash was like, "No, I can't let her win because I'll let down all my friends." It's like, wait, aren't your friends dealing with the rest of the? Oh, what is the actual timeline of these individual stories
I don't
here?
know.
Haven't your friends, off somewhere else dealing with the other Transformers?
No, they're in the
Isn't this
crowd,
supposed
see?
to, like, but it's really kind of feels like it was all supposed to be happening at the same time
But it's not.
because they landed and now I was right.
Yeah,
But
I don't
it's
know.
like, weren't you busy doing other things there, rest of Main Six?
Nope. It's fine. They found time.
All right.
Also, I noticed Battle Unicorn is there, and at the beginning of the race, that's kind of a nice little reference because Battle Unicorn almost became Twilight Sparkle Prime toy at one point.
Oh.
Yep. So I just find that funny that they managed to include him.
Interesting. There's another horse robot that I can only see the head of that I don't know.
No, see, that's part of that Battle Unicorn. That's part of Battle Unicorn's arm. Is that unicorn head there?
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, there's 2 Battle Unicorns. I don't know why.
All right.
Don't
All
worry
right.
about it.
Let's just not think about it.
Yeah, bit of an obscure
Transformers
nod.
are weird.
Just an obscure nod. Don't worry about it. But yeah, it was a fun time.
Definitely interesting.
Yeah, I'm just curious about that, just because. Yep, Windblade with Dash. How people are going to react, at least in the Transformers side of things. And Pony people are like, "Who's that? Windblade? Who's she?" Well, you see, she's a recent character, and yeah. But that was the comics.
Those are them.
Still very much recommend picking up Friendship in Disguise, by the way.
It's definitely been an interesting ride for someone who's not really familiar with that much of Transformers, like me.
For me, who's more familiar, it's like, yeah, I know you.
Yeah, it probably hits a lot different for those who have been Transformers fans.
And of course, I'm worried about the Transformers fans who aren't Pony people. But still decide to read this anyway because, I don't know, they want some... Because that's the thing. I've noticed a lot of Transformers fans love to do the whole thing about they participate only to complain.
Yep.
That's their whole purpose. They want to complain about something. So they come into a thread about a figure they don't want and then never have intended to get because they hate it, and they come in and talk about how terrible it is.
They have to let everyone know how much they hate something.
And then when someone says, "Why are you even here?" and says, "Well, you don't have to. You can't stop me. Free speech." Blah, 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 that sort of thing.
Yep. Yeah.
Transformers fans. Anyway,
I think that's just part of humans in general.
Yeah, but Transformers fans in particular. That's my frame of reference, just because. Yeah.
That's what one of your areas that you partake in.
Yep. Moving on from that, I guess the bulk of our discussion today is actually going to be kind of a very casual reminiscence about Friendship is Magic and the fandom and our experiences with it over the last, almost 10 years for both of us.
Almost 10 years, yeah. Cause
you were closer to 9 years because when you...
Yeah, I'm a little over.
Yeah, 9 years and some change.
Yeah, because I still remember day one.
Yeah, because you're going to probably hear some things we've talked about before, but whatever, who cares? It's reminiscence.
Yeah, that's kind of how it works.
Yep.
Yeah, I still remember day one. It was August 20. It was Saturday, August 27th, 2011.
Mm-hmm.
It was PAX.
Mm-hmm.
PAX Prime. Before that, I had started to see things about Friendship is Magic because I believe I had probably started to see things while season 1 was airing.
Probably.
Just for timing's sake. Because at the time I lurked a certain board. Yeah. I lurked B. I don't anymore, but I used to. So I seen things. A lot of really disturbing things, but I had started to see some pony stuff pop up, and I was like, what the hell is this? It's like, oh, whatever. It's probably just 4chan being 4chan, and it's just gonna, next couple months it'll be gone, or whatnot, because they go through fads like that. But it didn't really go away, and I started seeing it in other places, but I never really looked into it. But I knew it was just, okay, there's something, but whatever. It's ponies, I don't care. Until I found a song. So I was just stumbling through the internet. I ran across the glitch remix of the theme song by then named Alex S. And it made me go, hey, wait a minute, this is really good. People are actually putting effort into this. This ain't a fad. There's something more real going on here. So that made me question the things about that I thought before. Like, oh, it's no big deal. I was like, huh. Interesting. And shortly after that was PAX. So yeah, you and I were there at PAX. It was still called PAX Prime at the time. They hadn't switched it over to PAX West.
Yeah.
I remember we walked by the Unicorn Theater.
Yep.
I believe that was up the escalators. We were heading that direction. I want to say that's where the Unicorn Theater was. And it had a picture of Twilight Sparkle.
Yes.
So I see that, and I go, oh, it's ponies again. They're even here now. And at the time, I had known you had more time and experience with the internet at large, because I was stuck on dial-up for the longest period of time, so I didn't really get to... I had only just got DSL, and I was on really crappy DSL, but I just recently finally got broadband of some sort. And I know you had it, and you were a lot more up-to-date on the internet at large.
For better or for worse.
For better or for worse, but I know that you had more access, more time, and more experience, and you had more of a feel of what was going on. So I was like, okay, well, Nemesis over here knows the internet more. Maybe you know something, so I asked. So I've been seeing this. So I don't remember the exact words that were exchanged, but it was something to the akin, at least what was going through my head at the time. So you're on the internet more often than I am. I've been seeing a lot of this happening. What's going on? Something's going on. What's going on? What do you know?
Internal screaming.
Yeah. I didn't think all that much about how you would react or whatnot. I was honestly curious and figured, okay, well, you probably know more than I do. So that started that conversation.
Yep.
And then I remember it continued, and we were sitting at a panel, because this was also the time the Halo Fest thing that they were doing at PAX.
Yep,
they had a whole thing
there. The Halo 20, yeah, they're celebrating the 10th anniversary of Halo.
10th anniversary again.
Yeah, we were at a panel with about stuff, whatever, some Halo thing.
I can't remember what the panel was about, but we were talking about Pony. You made a mention about it.
Uh-huh.
There was a line, I can't remember the exact line you said, but it was to the kin of, it's a lot better than you would initially think it would be.
Yeah.
That it catches you by surprise. You don't think it would be that good, but it is. And and I was like, oh, that's kind of the way I felt about this song I had just found, and I had on my iPod with me, so I played it for you.
Yeah, and it's like, I know that song.
Yeah.
I've heard that song already, because I listened to it a couple times at that point.
Yeah. And then you convinced me to watch some of the episodes, and that night I got home, you linked me the first couple episodes, and I guess that was that.
Yeah.
At least for starting with the show.
I tricked you.
You tricked me. This is all your fault.
You fell for it, you fool. You simpleton.
Ruse.
Yeah, I just remember that. I just remember that feeling of terror of like, oh God, how's he going to react when I start talking about this? Because at this point, I've been watching it for a while, and but yeah, I'd been watching it for a while at the time, because my thing was like, I started watching in February of 2011, so only a few months after it premiered. Season 1 was still actively airing, And I just kind of found it, and I remember some of it. It was just I remember starting seeing the memes and stuff. I'm like, what the heck is My Little Pony doing showing up everywhere? I don't get it. And I saw a thread. This was NeoGAF, back before NeoGAF completely went to crap. There was a thread. Someone said, My Little Pony. And the funny thing was, I remember one thing distinctly, was that they mistitled the show. They called it My Little Pony Friendship is Golden on the title. And then the OP they went, sorry, I screwed up. It's Friendship is Magic. And because you couldn't edit titles on that forum unless you were a moderator, and no one really cared enough to change it. But they're basically, being there evangelizing about how great the show was and all that stuff, and how really you should give it a shot. It's genuinely good. And here's a link to the first episode on YouTube. Just know that the first 2 episodes aren't the same as the other ones. Okay. One day I was just kind of bored. Okay, I'm just going to check this out because I'm seeing it pop up more and more often.
Yeah.
And I watched them, and I was watching them here and there, and I got to episode 4 and then binged the rest of it all the way up to what was airing, all the way up to the newest one. And I was like, well,
I'm in.
I'm interested now. This isn't good.
That's that.
Yeah, and that was back in February that year. And I remember I was trying, of course, because when whenever I watch or read or something, I have to check out and see, okay, what's the fan base like around this, or what's going on fanworks wise. And I found out about Equestria Daily. I think someone linked it there, and at that point in time, Equestria Daily is only about a month old. And stuff like that, because
back in the day where there's getting double digits in the draw friend was
it didn't happen at that point.
Yeah, it was we got double
draw
digits. Draw
friends were usually 5 or 6 pictures, and I don't think double digits were starting to happen until March or April. But at the time, and also at the time, it was basically the only place to find where it's you consistently find all the fanfics, because there was no central repository or website. No one used fanfiction.net for some reason. Everyone used Google Docs, which was the stupidest thing.
Yeah, I was about to say, that was the thing. Even when I joined up, that was still really popular. Other places had started to show up, but Google Docs was still one of the primary things.
The only place that archived it all at the time was Equestria Daily.
Yep. They still do have that archive.
Yeah.
Most of the Google Doc links are broken.
Well, of course they are. But I just remember at that point in time, you could in a single afternoon read through the entire archive of Equestria Daily posts, because there weren't that many yet, because it's only been a month at that point.
Yep.
And they were usually pretty short. And it's that's so you start, that's when you start looking and you find out about the artists and the fan works. And again, I just remember all that. But yeah, I remember telling you about it, and that at that PAX, and freaking out inside, because oh God, what if he gets weirdly judgy about it?
Ew, you like something like
that?
Because
I was trying to find a evasive way to tell you to go ahead and watch it without admitting that I watched it myself or something. No, it didn't really work.
Yeah, thinking, actually, well, the whole without watching it yourself part didn't work.
Yeah.
Thinking back upon that time, how you told me about it and what I thought about you telling me about it, there wasn't really any real judgment, because I was honestly curious about it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I was genuinely, because I had been seeing all of this stuff, and the whole time I'm thinking and because I had heard that song and realized, okay, it's not just a fad, this is a serious thing, or people wouldn't be putting that level of effort into making music, making good music. I was like, okay, there's something going on here. Now I'm curious. I want to know. Well, you might know, and you told me, so that was filling in my gaps of curiosity. The way you did present it was perfectly acceptable to me. I mean, it worked, obviously.
Yep.
And I did, get the impression that you did watch it.
Yeah.
That you were actively watching it, because the information you told me about, it's better than you would think it should be, kind of a thing, and surprisingly good. That pretty much gave away the you enjoy it, you like it, but it wasn't this person's being really weird and over the top about Pony. Yeah. That didn't come across at all. It did come across a little bit more, I guess, well, not really lax, but more laid back about it.
I was trying to downplay how much I liked it, because it's a passing thing,
That part did actually work.
It's like, because I didn't want to tell you, oh yeah, I've already bought one of the blind bags and I'm looking at plushies. And
yeah, that you hid that fairly well, and you did actually hide the terrified part.
Oh yeah.
So you succeeded. You did succeed at that. Well, I didn't see you venting, so.
Yeah, but that was
in either sense of the word.
Yeah. Yeah, so then, I remember in the car ride home, I was just telling you, you should check it out. I'll give you a link when we get back, and then I gave you one, and then I remember that Xbox Live. This one thing I remember: getting on Xbox Live, join a party, and I hear the first thing you say when you join the party is, "I hate you," and I hear very quietly in the background My Little Pony playing. I'm like, oh well. It's like, wow, it's been a while, so that means he's been watching it for a bit, because I recognize which dialogue that is. Yep. He's been watching it for a bit at this point.
You linked me a pack of episodes.
Yep. Yeah, because I remember, because the whole thing was the first 2 episodes are very different. It's like, watch the first 2, watch at least the third one, because it's very different. Because you might like the first 2 and not like the rest of them, or you might hate the first 2 and like the rest, because a lot of people were like that.
Yeah. I watched the entire thing. I think I watched almost the whole pack in one sitting.
Yeah, just
one right after another. Just da. So, yeah.
Oh, no. I can't stop watching. Give me more.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Going back to the whole Google Docs thing, it baffled me as to why the fandom decided Google Docs of all things. Because like fanfiction.net existed at that point, and had a My Little Pony section. So why are we using Google Docs?
I don't know. I don't know.
It just became not the thing.
Yeah, I don't know that much about that. I'm not privy to a lot of like fanfic is not something that before Pony I've never really read fanfic stuff. Wait, no, I think there's one exception, but it was not fanfic is not something I was well versed in, so I don't know.
By that point in time, I'd become pretty familiar with fanfiction.
Yeah. My curiosity for the Google Docs thing is how many of the Pony fandom authors at that time were authors for other fandoms?
I have no idea.
How many of them actually were also versed in fanfic writing? If they weren't versed, if they, like a lot of people, this fandom was their first fandom and is what sparked that original creativity to start writing and start making music. So if this was like their first foray into fanfics, maybe they just didn't know.
Yeah, it's still really frustrating because archiving made it difficult to find it again. If you liked one, you had to basic bookmark it, or it made it difficult to find in general. Or until because Daily had to archive, and even then their archive was buggy, and the search didn't work super well. I remember that it was really difficult to find stuff because the search was very janky.
EQD's search is still janky because it was like a really broken Google search thing. But to this day, it's janky.
I remember all that. I remember that, and it's like, but I do remember the fun fact of like, of curiosity of looking at the My Little Pony subsection in fanfiction.net. And at the time, it was about 400 or so fics on fanfiction.net, and it was like, oh yeah. And most of it was for old generation. At that point, there's a handful for Friendship and Magic, right? At the time, it was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But it's like, okay, there's not really a whole lot there, but it makes sense. But now, My Little Pony on fanfiction, as of this point, 31.3 thousand.
31.
I remember it grew fast because it went from, I think it grew to like 5,000 within months.
Wow.
And remember, this was before fanfiction.net existed and whatnot.
Yep.
Because I remember someone went, hey, all these fanfics are all in Google Docs. They're really difficult to find. Not only that, Google was starting to actively delete them for some reason or another.
No one knows the way of
No one figured out what was going on there. But someone needs to go ahead and get these things all nice and archived. And there's 2 big solutions that came out, I think roughly the same time. There's the Pony Fiction Archive and fanfiction.net.
Yeah.
And Pony Fiction Archive used like an already existing template. Like I saw it with other fandoms using the same sort of layout and everything. Okay, this is a template. It kind of died because everyone just went to fanfiction because I guess it was just had a better feature set overall.
Yeah. I'm curious. I wonder if people had used like fanfiction.net
Yeah, if that was
if they had started using fanfiction.net to start with, if Fimfic would even exist.
Is it still a thing? Holy crap, it's still a thing. Pony Fiction Archive is still around. Now I'm curious if there's actually
if it's getting new content. And how much of the content is just like duplicate from Fimfic or whatnot. Because there's also Archive of Our Own, isn't there?
Yes. Archive of Our Own is a thing, but that's not as popular, except Quest Your Girl stuff is more popular there on Archive of Our Own, because
interesting.
Archive of Our Own tends to have a little bit more of a heavier teenage college presence.
Right.
Because it was I believe it was kind of born of Tumblr initially.
That would make sense.
If we could just find when this was posted. This does not tell me when this was posted. But it's still up. Pony Fiction Archive. I thought for sure it'd be down by now. Unless I checked, people barely use it because, well, Fimfiction's just made better. Yeah.
As many faults as it and its leadership has,
yes.
It is still...
There's a better feature set.
It's still a fairly well-functioning site.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that was one thing. I remember I think this fandom was my first brush with like an actual active music scene. Like before that, it was all art and fiction. Music wasn't really much of a thing other than maybe you'd see, AMVs or something.
Oh, AMVs.
And maybe occasional goofy song, but like no real actual active music where to the point of every convention has to have a concert or else it's a failure.
That's an interesting thing about this fandom, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
The music presence.
Mm-hmm.
I guess in part it's because of the heavy music presence in the show.
Yeah.
Because it did have such a heavy music presence, it makes sense for the fandom to also have one. But it is definitely interesting how those kind of blended. The convention and concert kind of became a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not certain if it was intended or not, but that's just how it worked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of strange how that worked out. But I remember my first music. You already said your first musical exposure to the fandom because it was Alex S's remix.
Yep, it was my first exposure to the fandom in general.
Murphy, the thing was I knew about the music stuff, but I didn't pay that much attention until Not a Clever Pony released for the new Lunar Republic.
Yeah, that is a classic amongst
really
classics.
Paid attention.
Yeah, that song was a big one.
Mm-hmm. One of the first original songs, not a remix.
Yep.
Of any sort. Early on, you also got a lot of basic dubstep remixes as well.
Yeah, yeah. The whole dubstep thing was a big one because it was
a thing at the time.
Well, it was popular music at the time, and it was also fairly. I don't want to say low bar of entry. But it was easy to produce.
At least it wasn't
because
Nightcore.
You didn't require stuff. Oh, yeah, at least it wasn't Nightcore.
That infected anime has yet to leave.
I think there's only one Nightcore song that I even like, and that's only because it's a meme at this point.
Yeah.
I can only like because of the meme.
Yep.
Not the. Yeah.
It's just kind of interesting how that happened. Like, I'd never really seen that. Because, my first real experience with fandom for me was actually Kim Possible back in the mid-2000s. That was my first real brush with, like, hey, there's people who like things and talk about it on the internet that extensively. Like, I knew people did that. Like, I guess Halo kind of was, but, like, that was different for me.
Yeah.
I don't know. This was the first time, like, I actually really started diving into, like, there's fan fiction and there's dedicated fan boards, not official forums and whatnot. So, wow. Maybe Halo was only slightly beforehand. It was like 2003, 2004. So it's like, okay, a little different.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that much. But yeah, still, Kim Possible was the big one where I actually signed up for a forum and whatnot and met some people who all also said, hey, you should totally watch My Little Pony too. And got them into it. And yep. Myself and another friend, they were both like at the Independent, like she just talking about, oh, I've been watching Little My Little Pony. I'm like, hold deep breath. And it's really good. That's what she said. I'm like, yeah, isn't it
really good?
It jumped, and everyone else was like, "What is going on?" Because the two of us started gushing about the show, and everyone was like, "What is going on?" And we were just like, "You guys should watch it. You should watch it. You should watch it. We're gonna put a link in the Skype call because remember Skype? We're gonna put a link in the Skype call. Here you go. Yeah. Here's the first episode. Go watch it. Watch it." And everyone else got it super into it and whatnot to a degree. And
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a whole thing. And basically because of that, that's why TrotCon is the way it is. You're welcome.
Yeah. It is a little interesting that the connection to TrotCon there, because one of those people was Kevin.
Kevin, yep, one of those people. I was one of the people that insisted to Kevin that he should watch it, and
You're the reason TrotCon exists.
no, not necessarily the reason. TrotCon probably still existed. It probably would have not become the meme it is now. Because, well, that large chunk of that was Kevin just took control of that Twitter account, and well,
I miss Kevin.
Hi, Kevin. Yeah. So it's largely my fault that we got come to TrotCon.
Anyway, come to TrotCon.
It essentially, if you it's the picture of the dominoes.
Yep, the tiny little domino to the giant one.
Nemesis watches a cartoon horse program.
Anyway, come to TrotCon.
Yeah, so it's
origin stories are weird.
Oh yeah. Actually, it's one of those dig even further back type things.
Oh yeah, when you start realizing, oh wow.
All because I watched Kim Possible one day because I saw a commercial that looked good.
It's funny. I'm trying to remember the time period Kim Possible was.
That was 2002 to 2007.
Oh my. Yeah. There was a random incident in middle school. I was walking. I can't remember what I was doing, but I was walking through the cafeteria / gym. The principal is there and just talking. I don't know why I was talking to the principal, but he just out of the blue asked me if I watched Kim Possible. I didn't. I knew what it was. I didn't. I was rather weirded out. What? And now, after joining this and talking to you and having you tell me about the Kim Possible fandom and
oh yeah,
thinking back on that, it's like, holy crap.
There's a chance he was on that forum.
Well, or maybe he. I don't know. Maybe he had some connection to it.
I don't know.
I have no idea. I didn't look into it because I thought it was weird at the time.
I just want to get away from you. Thank you very much.
Also, it's weird being, a middle school kid and talking casually to the principal.
Yeah, that too. But I just remember that one, the whole thing was and that was one of those things that I wanted to talk about, but I was too scared to because I'm in high school and like.
It's Kim Possible. Oh, that's a kid's show.
That's a girl's.
It's a girl, primarily girl thing. Like, oh, you watch that? That's for girls.
It doesn't help. Yeah, the animation as well as like you're in high school, you're supposed to stop watching cartoons, right? Turns out most of us
didn't. Most of us didn't. We just stopped saying that.
So we talking about because we thought everyone else stopped.
Yeah.
Although it was funny, there's a person in my band.
Up for that.
There was a person in my band, high school band at the time, that she came to school in a Kim Possible t-shirt, and her name was also Kim, and that was the joke. I almost want to say something, but like that means admitting.
You can't reveal your power level.
That means admitting things. I don't want to do that. Turns out I've struggled for a long time with wanting to admit things and not really being able to because out of fear. Because I remember I joined this fandom, I thought I was straight and male. No.
So we got into stuff like that. What this fandom did right after joining this. Before I get to that, you mentioned the whole finding the fandom. That area is vague. I know I found the fandom at large, but I don't know exactly how it happened. I think it may have been a combination of you linking me things and stuff, but it was a rather slow. I don't really want to even say meet because the fandom for a long period and for most things for me has been rather one-sided. I've been mostly just a consumer, and I've never really put myself out there
and get excited for next product.
But I've always been super reserved, so actually posting things and reaching out and stuff like that has been difficult. But when I started to find the fandom and started seeing how things were, it made some pretty huge effects because at the time I was not. I'm not gonna say I was a horrible person, mainly because I was super passive and never stepped out and said things, but I held some pretty bad opinions.
Oh yeah.
I was I grew up right-wing conservative, and I was at that time. When I started watching this is one of the biggest things I struggled with because according to everything that I knew and internalized based off of how I grew up. I was not supposed to like this.
Yep.
But I did. So I struggled with that for a long time. I was like,
I already
what do
had
I
that
do?
struggle with Impossible, so I was kind of already getting past that a little bit, not a whole lot. This was even girlier, so it's like,
Yeah. So I'm saying like, I'm not supposed to like this, but I do, but I'm not supposed to. So the whole infighting, and it forced me to reevaluate whether I was supposed to or not, in my beliefs, and why did I believe that?
Yep.
And it turns out those beliefs were caused by a different belief. Like, okay, now I have to analyze that and really critically think about my beliefs. And it caused a cascade. And it completely changed. I'm now a very, very different person. So, thank you for that, too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. Kim Possible was actually one of the catalysts for me of like, hey, you should rethink some of your views.
Yeah.
Because I remember that one. That one was actually funny. It was a fanfic of all things was there. It was a fanfic where I was tricked into reading about lesbians.
You tricked. Oh, now
because at the time, again, also very right-wing conservative Christian.
Yep.
So that's one of those things. It was like, I read a fanfic, and at the end, two girls kiss. I was like, what? What? I was tricked into this. How dare they? Why do I feel so good about it? Why does it make me happy to see? Uh-oh. Moral panic.
Uh-oh.
Then, the good old slide into reading the fanfics and stuff and slowly modifying my views, and took a decade or so, but still.
Yep. And then you look back and you realize, oh, wait, there's even more.
Yeah, and then I was like, if my car really did travel through time, I would punch the crap out of my younger self.
Oh my God. The amount of times that thought has come back and come to my head, if you, and maybe not that you'll go back in time and you meet your younger self, but like, imagine if you were to all of a sudden wake up 10 years ago with all your memories today.
Oh boy. Sure would like
but
change
in the
a lot
same
right
body
there.
10 years ago.
Oh boy, it changed a lot very quickly.
There a lot. Buy Bitcoin.
Oh yeah, buy Bitcoin immediately.
Buy a couple Bitcoins. Like, oh boy, put $100 into like 5 Bitcoin or something or whatnot. That's a steal.
And just hold on to it and know exactly when it's about, when it's at its peak, then cash out.
Also do whatever you can to stop 2016 from happening. Don't know how successful that would be, but because no one would believe you. Yeah. But hey, we can try. But yeah, it's just thinking what you would change. It's a tough one though.
Yeah.
Because those things that happened that you'll regret also kind of put you where you are today.
Yep. Also, you're creating a new timeline or what?
Yeah, the whole, which, are we like Back to the Future? Are we Looper? Or God forbid, are we Primer? And are we just going to explode our heads trying to contemplate that?
Just don't think about it and your head won't explode. It's fine.
Yeah.
What was it? This thing about the fan. Yeah, it has changed some people. Unfortunately, some people for the worse, as we've seen. Or some people just really enable them to really, just for some reason, espouse some really awful things, as we've seen.
I don't understand Nazis in the fandom at all.
Yep.
Like, I just don't get it.
Well, again, it's a simple thing of they latched onto people who felt lonely and isolated and really picked at that.
Right, but there's so much contradiction between those beliefs and the show. It's like,
how do you? And they don't really. They just don't care.
Yeah, that's the only thing I think of. Is just they just can ignore it and just dismiss what they don't want.
Yep. But a lot of it, as the meme, 2013 bronies. Become white supremacist or become a trans girl. Well, I know what path I chose. Shame about you, though. I mean,
oh, that's another one. I'm trying to remember the exact wordings of that meme because I want to say it sort of implies were a brony. So I just I still am, so I don't have to make the decision yet.
Yeah, it's a thing. But yeah, the other thing was we went to that first ever free was the thing.
I was thinking about trying to sag into that 2012. Yeah. 2012. Oh man,
August of 2012. I remember that was the thing. We were thinking about it. It was sold out at the time.
Okay, yeah. I was at the time. I was super gung ho for fandom stuff. I was gung-ho and hyped up about the show, the fandom. I so want to do it. But yeah, I really started getting it and really wanting to, but it had sold out.
Yeah. Also a little scary because a little bit scary.
Twice it had sold out.
I think we were. I'm pretty sure we were actually part of the second round.
It could be.
I know we sold out once, and then I think it was we saw the tickets
third.
when it was for badges were for sale again. We're like, we should just jump on this right now.
Well, because I remember specifically, you were struggling about it because you didn't know if you could swing the money.
No, I don't think it was about money. I think it was more or less that time I could afford. I think it was just like I was more. I think for me, I was a little scared of doing something like this in person.
Right, because I specifically remember I will cover it financially if I have to, if we go.
Yeah, for me,
I couldn't do it on my own though, because there's no way in hell I could have actually done that by myself.
Yeah, that first year
I could have drove out there, yeah, but by myself, that's terrifying.
Yeah, I think I was just scared, and I was scared of actually doing something in person, because like.
I was too. That's why I needed someone else to go with me.
I was just like, well, what if someone recognizes me?
Oh.
What if it somehow gets back to my parents or people I know? And
oh, jeez.
Yeah, because at the time it was kind of scary to a degree. And I now have feeling further terror about other things, but whatever. That's not really relevant at this point to this discussion. But yeah, at the time it's like, well, it's okay. They reopened badge sales, so okay, it's not that. It was like $60,
something like that.
So let's just go. I think my big worry is about hotel. We can drive there, no problem.
Yep, and that's what we did. Was we just drove back and forth because it's local.
Although, yeah, it was semi-local, I should say, because it's it's about an hour away, a little over.
Yeah, it's an hour's drive. It's a lot more local for us than it is for those who have to fly.
Well, for me, it was also that was at that point in time I was going to college, and my college was literally like a couple miles away from the convention was. So for me, it was like, oh, this is not a big deal. But now I can drive in the HOV lane. Ha
ha! Yep, because you have another person.
Only problem was I believe that Friday, going home that Friday was a nightmare because, well.
Oh my God. Okay, yeah. Everfree 2012. That Friday, the registration systems broke, and the only person who knew how they worked was sick. And wasn't there, and I remember for the entire first day they just waived the registration.
We were stuck in the welcome room forever until they finally.
And I think that was, I can't remember if that was the welcome room or the that was the overflow, because we were up at the Marriott up the hill. That was the overflow welcome room that they were going to stream or something over.
I think that's where they had the sign. Registration was in that room, that hotel, and that's where we were just having everyone wait there because everything was being done by hand slowly until eventually they're like, okay, yeah, this is crazy. You guys it's not fair for you guys have to sit here wait all day. Go to the convention.
Yep.
And then come back at some point during the day and get your stuff. Later,
which they did. Later Friday, they did get it fixed, and we got our stuff.
You got it all set to go, and but yeah, it was because that was the time. It was the Holiday Inn and the Marriott. We had it up and down the street, uphill one way because it was a fairly steep hill, and of course that weekend,
I still have the registration info from that year.
How about that?
It was uphill both ways.
No, but it was uphill. One was down at the bottom, one, and it was also like one of the hottest weekends that summer. Like those 3 days when it was Everfree, it was like the hottest days of that year. And it was I think it breached 100 at least one of those days as well, which doesn't happen very often in Western Washington.
No.
But every day it was at least 95 degrees or hotter, and people were having to walk up that hill constantly. Some people in full cosplays. Oh boy.
Oh geez, yeah. They did have a shuttle.
Yeah,
there was a regular shuttle between the two, so that did help.
And also, I remember that I was being annoyed because there was a little like coin tray in my car that got warped because of the heat.
Yep. Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun, but oh man, I'm glad I went. I don't regret that I went, but I still remember the next year I was like, we're not driving.
We're not driving every day.
I'm making that decision now.
I'm gonna
not drive every day. I will pay for the hotel.
Okay.
And that's basically been the the thing every year.
I also remember that a year the main room was at the top of the Holiday Inn, and they had to do that weird nonsense with the elevators and stuff because we have to make sure that the normal guests are still, able to do their thing, but we have people lined up outside in the main lobby and they have to have people manning the elevators to let us up and down, and it was nuts.
Yeah. It was a nuts weekend.
And I remember that. Actually, I remember that Sunday. I remember that Sunday morning. We were all set to go there that morning, and I'm like, I'm gonna pick you up at like 7:00 or something, so we get there at 8. And I remember waking up, my phone's going off like across the room because it was plugged in and charging. I'm like, why is my phone going? I took a look at my alarm, my clock. My clock says it's 7 when I said I was gonna pick you up. I'm like, oh crap.
Yep.
And I remember going to answer the phone because it was you calling me. I was saying, oh, sorry, because I thought you were calling to ask me where I was. I'm sorry, I just woke up. And then you were calling me to tell me that you just woke up.
I just woke up.
not to come yet because you're hoping that I hadn't left yet.
Yep.
I'm like, well, that's fortuitous.
Fortuitous. We both slept.
I think that was both of us just did not sleep that well because of when we left and when we got back home and when we had to wake up, and it just didn't work very well.
With the excitement of everything going on, it was just, So
that by that point, both of us like, nope. Both of us like, nope. Our brain's like, no, you're done. You're sleeping for another hour.
Yeah.
So the only thing I think of, I must have shut off my alarm in my sleep.
I think I may have as well.
Because I had my alarm for like 6:00 or something, like 5:30 or 6 or something like that, so I could get up early enough to make sure to get to your house by 7. And like, And nope, I'm still asleep at 7:00, and so I'll also rush to go eat something, get in the shower, and go.
Yeah. That was an interesting
I just remember
day.
that. It's like, okay, I think that's part of what informed your decision to let's just go to a hotel next year.
That was part of it, but the biggest decision, the biggest one, because remember, for me, music is so huge.
Oh yeah, you couldn't go to the concert.
We had to leave early, and we had to miss whole sections of the concert.
We only were able to get to the for Sunday afternoon one.
Yeah. Oh man. Bad things happened that ended up being somewhat fortuitous.
Yeah, we also wound up walking out of there.
For my own scheduling. But they ended up having a Sunday during the day concert.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember if it was actually supposed to be that day or if there was a sudden schedule shift. I know there was inter-concert scheduling shifts because of a certain now infamous person.
Yep. Yeah, I remember their schedule was Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon. I remember that was always a thing.
Yep. And we were able to go. That was such a big day for me too, that event. But that was one of the things, because I missed out on that. I said, I don't want to miss out on these concerts anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'll just pay for the hotel. I had the money, so I just pay for the hotel next year. So I didn't have to miss the concerts.
Yeah.
Also makes transport a lot easier.
Yep.
Oh, you mentioned something earlier of having your parents find out.
Oh, yeah, I was scared.
Oh man, when I first started, I was terrified of what my parents would think. I remember when I first started collecting toys, since I was still living at home. I would start, I would put them out. I would just a very small amount of toys. I would put them on my desk, but only when I was home. And anytime I would leave, or there may be a chance that I couldn't monitor them, I would put them away.
Yep.
So that my parents couldn't see the toys. It was just constant back and forth. Little did I know they actually already found them.
Well,
apparently at one point, my dad had actually rearranged some of them to see if I would notice. I didn't.
Oops.
I mean, it also doesn't help that I was constantly putting them away and such like that, so any rearrangements wouldn't last.
Yep.
But yeah, there was like constant points like, oh crap, I have to hide them suddenly because they're still out, when I totally didn't need to.
No, sir, I did not see you playing with your dolls again.
Exactly. There was that whole thing. Now, my whole family knows about the pony thing. I don't know exactly what they think about it. I wouldn't be surprised if they laugh at me behind my back. I know they've done it about other things, but at this point, I don't care.
Yep.
So, whatever.
Yeah, there's those. For me, it was like, I got lucky that I was already moved out of my parents' house at that point. And so they didn't only know if I told them or they saw something, which is why I was always so hesitant about wearing like pony t-shirts or whatever. Also didn't help that the pony t-shirts were the kind of some material I didn't like.
Yeah.
Super form-fitting. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a Wheel of Fine.
Yep.
I'm wearing an old one right now, and it's that weird form-fitting one.
I finally at one point I was like, you know what? My mom tends to like the same sort of movies and TV shows I like. All right, I'm going to tell her. I'm going to tell her to watch it, and I made DVDs for her to watch. I burned the DVDs for her, and she really liked it. She really liked the show a lot, and she kept watching it as, I was like, hey, look, here, it's on the Discovery Family. You got that. Or actually the Hub at the time. You got that, so here you go. You can keep up with it. And she really liked it. She even has a couple of the little the blind bags and stuff. She got a couple of those here and there. Because the thing is, my mom also likes unicorns in general, so...
That helps.
Yeah,
that definitely helps.
She knew about it eventually. My dad found out about it because what happened was he came to my house because he was dropping something off, and I forgot to close my office door where all my pony stuff is, and he looked inside and saw it. And he's like, what is all that pony stuff? I'm like, it's My Little Pony. Don't worry about it. It's My Little Pony. Don't worry about it. It's not your business. My brother found out about it because he also came with the same sort of thing. I forgot to close the door. Why do you have My Little Pony stuff?
Because I want to.
Because I like the show. Shut up. Yeah, but that was my big thing was mostly with my brother and my dad, and they don't seem to talk about it all. My brother brought it up once or twice, but he didn't seem to actually care that much.
Yeah. Was that your younger brother?
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know any of the rest of your siblings. I only know him, and it's like of all the ones to find out, he's probably the safer one.
Yeah.
Because he's also kind of weird.
Yeah.
I did get my sister into it for a little bit, but I think she doesn't care anymore.
Yeah, no problem.
She stopped watching. I don't know how much she really cared about to begin with, and how much she was just kind of going along with it. But whatever.
So a couple of my nieces and nephews also liked it a bit, but not surprising because they're little.
They're little. Yeah. Apparently, my other sister's daughter really likes it.
Aha. I don't know.
Every now and then it'll come up, but within my family, they all know, but it doesn't really get discussed all that much. And usually when it is, it's very short and not much to it.
Yeah,
which I suppose it could have gone worse considering how the rest of my family is.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah, it's because I very rarely wear the pony shirts. They're all nigh pristine condition.
Oh, yeah. I have a whole ton of pony shirts, but I have them now split into two sections. One is I can still wear them, and the other is I either can't or won't, because either they're too small or they have deteriorated to the point where I don't want to touch them and make them worse.
Yeah. And most of them are actually in pretty pristine condition, which kind of like, I didn't really wear them much because I was still kind of skittish about it.
Yeah, I didn't wear them in public all that much, and then I started to more because I was also all wearing a hoodie, so it wouldn't show.
Yeah.
So it was fine.
Yeah, that was that first Everfree though was kind of crazy. And we've been to every Everfree that's happened ever since.
We have been to every single Everfree there has been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's it's right there.
It is, yeah.
We don't have to try to work out planes or airfare or any of that stuff. It's just right there.
Yep, makes it really easy. It's our local con.
Yeah, we were able to get to Brony Can once. We
went to Brony Can. We went to.
Yeah, we drove up. We just what? It's in Vancouver.
That's just north of us.
It's north. It's a bit of a long drive, but we can go up there no problem. And I drove up there.
Yeah, it's Richmond.
Yeah, but
it's
Vancouver.
It's the
basically.
Same thing. It's It's like the difference between SeaTac and Seattle.
Yeah, not much.
Or like Kenmore and Seattle. It's like it's all the same thing.
Yeah, but we were able to go up that one. That was interesting because I remember that first night was awful because we got a room with no AC and it was stupidly hot.
Was broke, yeah.
And you couldn't open the window because it opened like an inch.
Yep. Yeah.
Because they had like a nail in there in the frame to prevent you. It was like,
why?
So yeah, that night was awful, and so I went and complained.
And they gave us a really nice room.
A much nicer room that had AC and a second bed and everything.
Yeah, it had a hide-a-bed.
That was nice. And we also were able to get to TrotCon and meet guests there.
Yeah, that was the thing.
You got to meet Kevin in person.
Yeah, it was the first time meeting Kevin. Yep. Kevin's cool.
And we've got to the final BronyCon.
We did.
Because you always were like, we need to go to BronyCon one day. We need to go to BronyCon one day. This is the last BronyCon. What?
Oh,
well,
crap.
One day is now.
Yep. So we did that.
That's all.
I don't think we've been to any other conventions.
BabsCon has been talked about.
We keep talking about it, but we never really do it because we have to figure out, okay, do we fly or drive? Because that's one of those. At that point,
it's the
cost is about the same.
Yeah, just basically how
it's a timing.
Because BabsCon, we can literally. It's like if you leave in the morning, it's about a day's drive when you get there the night.
Yeah, it's a long drive and it's a lot of gas.
Versus you have to go to the airport and it's like maybe a hour-long flight.
Yeah, but you have to go to the airport.
Yeah, you have to wait there for 2 hours.
Now, I absolutely love planes and love flying.
Yeah.
I don't like going through security.
Yeah, that sucks.
No one does.
No one does.
The logistics of getting through is tough.
I remember we talked about going to High Roller, but that just didn't happen.
That didn't happen.
And then that was only a 1-year con anyway.
And that happened to be only 1 year. I think they were thinking about a second, but...
Yeah, it got killed.
Yeah.
At least we didn't go to Unicon.
We avoided that.
I remember I got to talk about that for 2 weeks straight on Pony 4-in-1 because it's just such a big story.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you did talk about Everfree for 2 hours.
Yeah, that was the first episode of Pony 4-in-1. The first Everfree.
Yeah.
I was like, why not?
I remember listening to that one. Because I wasn't on...
Nope.
At that point. Because, again, that was the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was a couple that we had opportunities but didn't go to. I think Midwest. We got invited for their last... I think it was Midwest. I remember but we weren't able to because it was like 2 months after Everfree. It's like, yeah, we can't make that soon, on that short notice. Yeah, and then that one didn't happen, and that was the last year for that one, so that's unfortunate.
Oh, I remember in Canterlot Gardens because their whole thing was weird. They're a pony convention, and they're also in Ohio, and they were like already assuming that this pony thing was not going to last much longer. This is back in 2012, 2013. They're like, pony's not going to last much longer. We already got to make sure to be able to branch away from it as quickly as possible. So they're inviting non-pony VAs and having non-pony things heavily featured at this pony convention. And it only lasted 1 year.
Yep.
And they tried to come back with that Kickstarter. And I also remember that apparently they really want to snuff out TrotCon entirely.
Yeah, there's some drama involving some of those cons.
Yeah, I guess what happened there. You lasted 1 year. How long is TrotCon going?
Yeah. There's one convention another convention that I wish we were able to go to that's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Nightmare Nights would have been fun.
Yeah, in Texas.
I think. Yeah. There is Harmony.
It's just not the
Harmony
same.
Con in the same basic area.
I remember Equestria LA was a thing for a while.
Yeah, EQLA was a big one for a little bit.
Yeah. And then there's way too many.
Yep. We did a whole podcast on that, like 40-something episodes. Why do I throw episodes into things? The word episode where it shouldn't belong. 40-something conventions in a single year.
Yep.
We said it was unsustainable.
Hey, look. It was unsustainable.
Yeah, it was unsustainable.
Especially now, it's like... Yeah, it's like, especially now, it's like the future's uncertain for the franchise, for like how we're going to react to it and whatnot. So it's...
Yeah, with G5 coming up.
We don't know how... And Pony Life has been very, very controversial, to say the least.
Yeah, some people really like it, some people really don't.
Mm-hmm. And no one knows what G5 is going to be like, so it's who knows how the fandom's going to be. It might just be kind of back to what it was pre-Friendship with Magic, versus 1 or 2 conventions and very...
Yeah, well, hopefully we get more than 1 or 2. It would be kind of cool if we just had more the better to a point, but I would hope to see at least big regional ones that are time coordinated as well, so they don't overlap. So we have like a big Western, a big Mid, big Eastern kind of thing.
Yeah.
And of course, we all figured that BronyCon was going to be the big, long-lasting Eastern con, and that didn't happen.
Nope. Well,
hopefully, Everfree sticks around for a while. They plan to, but plans can change.
Yep. Who knows? There's a lot, honestly, just to think about. I mean, I'm just also remembering some of the weirder stuff that happened, the freak outs over weird things on the show.
Oh, jeez.
I remember back when I remember actually back when the season 1 was airing, people weren't even sure season 2 was going to be a thing.
Yeah.
By the time
I don't remember that because I didn't join until the hiatus between the two. So
season 2 had already been announced.
It had already been announced.
For me, it was like there was that point of we don't know. I was pretty certain because like yeah, they're going to follow the 65 episode rule for sure, and they kind of did until they didn't.
Until they didn't,
because they renewed
and then renewed and got 9 seasons.
Yep, 9 seasons, which is still crazy to think about.
Oh yeah, that was
200
a thing.
episodes.
That was a thing. Oh, just memories back in the day when things are still new. So one of my earliest memories is driving to work and back on my iPod. It was the little blue iPod mini at the time.
Yep.
I had a playlist of punny songs, a total of 6 songs at the time. That's all I had, and I would have them on repeat when I was in the car.
Yep.
I have thousands now.
I remember those days.
I have another iPod and it's full.
I remember, changing out which pony is better than other ponies. But I also remember that Twilight was the eternal, number 1.
Rainbow Dash has been number 1 and has never changed.
But I remember for a while, I really was into Luna, and at one point, I think I really liked Twi-Pie, and then Pinkie got worse as a character, and Sunset showed up, and well, that was that.
That was that.
I remember being one, hipster Sunset fan because I liked it before she was cool. Yeah, I remember the whole thing about Equestria Girls and trying to, I remember hunting down a stupid cam rip online because I was too scared to go to the theater in person and watch it. I remember showing you Everfree once, like, well, you got to watch it eventually, I guess. You weren't really looking forward to it. I remember that.
Equestria Girls, the first movie. Didn't we go and watch it in theater?
No, we watched the second one.
Oh, the second one?
Rainbow Rocks. We went to the Admiral of Seattle.
Yeah, we joined up with the Seattle Bronies group.
Yep, and then we did some interviews.
Yes, we did.
That was episode 72, I think. Yeah.
Something like that. It was a while ago.
72, wow. That was a while ago. But yeah, it's I just remember that the Equestria Girls. I remember showing that to you in Everfree in the hotel room. I was like, you're going to have to watch it eventually. And you did not look like you were really super enthused about watching it. You look like you're just like...
I don't even remember it.
I just remember you just kind of looking like you were just like ready for it to be awful. You're just...
I think I was.
And I'm just like saying,
listen,
it's not that bad, really. It's not.
It wasn't as bad as a lot of people are saying it was.
Yeah.
I remember one thing in the early fandom days that I kind of miss.
Mm-hmm.
I remember those days when you go to PAX, and I remember 2012 PAX, and I think 2013 as well, wearing pony shirts and wearing pony stuff, and there'd be so many of us just throughout the con. You could look across the room, across this large room, you see someone wearing a pony shirt, they'd see you too, you just stop and do just an air bro fist across the room. It's, a lot of people look back and say, oh, it's so cringy, but you know what? I miss it.
Yeah.
There was a sense of camaraderie.
People go around saying things are cringe or stupid.
Yeah. I miss that. I felt happy and joyful. It made me happy, and that's what matters.
Yeah.
And that sense of camaraderie, I guess.
Yeah.
But I guess people just kind of got used to the whole grandness of it, and it became more normal.
Yeah.
So those kind of things started to...
On top of that,
we haven't been to PAX in years.
The popularity of pony started to wane as well, let's be real.
Yep.
It was stop being the big thing, and people moved on. People who were in there just because it's the big new thing kind of moved on. And
yeah. I think in the early days, we turned them the hipster bronies. We're just there because it was the cool thing at the time, and quickly moved on afterwards.
Yeah, that was absolutely a thing. I don't want to. It sounds kind of like gatekeeping, but yeah, that was a thing for sure. There were people who were only there because they knew it would get them clicks or likes and whatnot. They knew that's how they got their some of Tell's attention. It was too.
Yep, and not all of that's insincere either.
Yeah.
I want to say it was actually like Jonan Vasquez that said something. Yes, the person for Invader Zim said, if you want to, get popular with art, draw what's popular.
Yep.
Right now, My Little Pony's popular. Draw My Little Pony. There's nothing really insincere about that. If you want to get out there and start, getting your art and work out there, that's good advice.
Yep. Yeah, it's just it's just kind of weird, just all that stuff. But I just remember, Rainbow Rocks is, honestly, that was a thing, just going and seeing that in a theater with a bunch of other fans and
bunch of other weirdos just like us.
Yeah. And I still actually will maintain Rainbow Rocks is the best My Little Pony movie.
It is up there.
Yeah, I'm saying it's even including the theatrical movie. I'm just like, yeah, in the end, the theatrical movie kind of fell short on some of my expectations. I mean, it's still fun to watch, but I still think Rainbow Rocks is overall a stronger movie.
Yeah, I'm not entirely certain I agree with that one, but I can see your point.
Even though, this movie, the original, I just remember the theatrical movie just being like, yeah, at times it was beautiful to look at and it was fun, but there were definitely times I felt like it kind of started feeling like a bit of a long episode of the show at times.
Yes, but hooves are better.
That face with no hooves.
and all to the argument. Hooves are better.
Whatever, but I still just at the end, Rainbow Rocks was the best one. Just like of all things, like I remember everyone was like, "Oh, why are they doing another one? The first one wasn't even that good. It wasn't even."
The second one was definitely better than the first.
Second one was such a massive improvement.
And then they did a third
and a fourth, which were not in theaters though, just TV players. So. But I also remember going and seeing the theatrical My Little Pony movie, and going out and seeing that.
Yeah, that was.
We tried to do the whole meetup thing, and that just blew up or imploded, I should say, because the meetup really kept splitting, and people couldn't agree on where to go, and just like, you know what, it's over here. We don't have to drive an hour. We can just drive 15 minutes. And
we just went to the local one, and there was a group there,
a handful of people. It wasn't really a group. It was just people just happened to be there. There was
a handful. Yeah.
It's like
we kind of talked with them for a little bit, but it's not
like 10 people in the theater, including us, really.
Yeah,
because of the Thursday night. Because that was also we got lucky. That was that weekend was also our 200th episode, so we got really lucky again.
Yeah.
So I remember that you came to my house. We went to the theater. We came back to my house. We recorded about the movie. I tried to read my nigh illegible notes because I was writing in a dark theater while trying to watch an actual movie.
Yeah.
And then we recorded the regular episode that weekend. And we had this almost 2-hour long episode because I was like, hey, here's the episode. Here's the movie.
Here's the movie. Yeah, we split them apart so that people could watch our normal episode without spoiling themselves.
Yeah. Well, we actually only split them in on the radio, on the PVFM version. The regular version was all combined, but we had plenty of warning. Like, hey, the rest of this is all movie spoilers.
This is spoilers.
So, don't pay attention if you're not don't want to hear. Everything else is fine, but here from forward is spoilers.
Yeah.
Now, episode 100 didn't quite line up. It was almost a line up with the show's 100. Almost. We were like 5 off. We were a little early.
It was pretty close. All because of that big hiatus that the podcast took.
And also, actually, it wasn't big because the show itself took a long hiatus.
Oh, yeah, that too. So it was a combination of both that helped things line up the way they are today.
Yeah, there's also the other thing was we were 5 off. If we were just waited a little bit longer, we would have been perfectly aligned. But that didn't happen. Oh well. But now we have the claim of we beat Friendship is Magic to its episode 100. We beat even though we started later.
Yeah.
Even with our big long stupid hiatus because things fell apart for a bit.
Yeah, logistics and such.
Yeah, it was a logistical problem and also lack of interest on some of the hosts. They also had interest in the show. It's like, I'm not going to force you to keep watching it if you're not enjoying it. That leads to bad content.
That and it's just not great for them.
Yep.
If you're really not interested in the show, that's fine.
I'm not going to force you to watch it because that's mean.
It is.
Watch it.
It's not going to be fun for anyone involved.
Yeah.
So don't force yourself to stick around.
Yeah, and again, also logistics. There was never a time everyone was able to record after a while.
Especially when
went to crap.
Yeah, time zones are bad enough, but when someone's on the other side of the pond.
Mm-hmm. It was just one of the things no one's schedules line up. I know one of us was like got a new night job and just in time zones and everything. Just no one was ever able to be on at the same time.
Yeah,
and I thought about doing it solo for a bit, but I was like, that's not going to work. I'm sure I can carry it. And it turns out I can carry it, but because of other things I've done, but I don't think it would have been as good. And also, what the heck would I have talked about during that summer?
Well, yeah, what have you talked? Well, yeah.
But
then after the hiatus, the podcast got immensely better. I joined. Yeah, and that's where I came in.
Yeah, but yeah,
God, I was so nervous.
It's fine.
I was so nervous.
Yeah. I remember that's the second time. It's like, my parents are here and I can't record because they're making noise. Well, just come to my house.
Yep. I think we tried a couple times doing it here.
I remember it was your house and you were at your house. And then so after that, the next time your parents were still at home and everything. It's like, well, come to my house, I guess.
And now we're getting to relive those because of COVID.
Yeah. So hopefully this is, and by next summer, we'll be back to some degree of normal.
Yeah. Also, NVIDIA came out with their RTX voice, which really helps with noise issues.
Just a bit. Not all of it. Sometimes stuff gets through, especially if it's particularly loud, but
it definitely helps things. Those were definitely the days. I do miss the days when the fandom was young. I mean, it had its problems.
Which we never addressed, really. Let's be real.
We never... early fandom really just pushed away the problems.
Yeah.
It didn't deal with them, it just hid them. And on the surface, it made everyone really happy, but I think, in a way, it
made things worse down the line.
Led to where we are now with our problems, because we didn't nip them in the bud when we should have.
Is homophobe with the pony avatar screaming at me on Twitter?
Oh.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
There's this one question. I think we've sort of already answered it, but there's this one question that I always want to ask people. I never really get the chance to.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of like an interview question to think back upon when you first joined the fandom,
mm-hmm.
and not what we always say, like, what was it about the show? Why do you start watching the show? But one thing I'm always curious about when it comes to other people in the fandom is when you found the fandom, what made you want to be part of the fandom? Because you can enjoy a show and absolutely love it and watch every single episode and get hyped up for it and buy the merchandise and never touch the greater fandom.
Yep.
But for those in it, what is it about the fandom that made you go, I want to be part of this? And not just, and for a lot of people, it's just what I want to be part of this. But for other people like us who create, who make content, like musicians and fanfics, what was it that made you decide you wanted to make content for the fandom? Think back to that time when you decided, what was it? That's a good reminiscing point, I guess.
I just want to talk about ponies.
I just want to talk about ponies. You had a group of friends you wanted to do something together with.
Yep.
With the podcast. I guess for the podcast, it's the same way here. I was already well into the fandom. I wanted to be a part of it. And then you invited me to join. It's like, yeah, all right, let's do this. I want to contribute. I want to give back. The fandom, being in the fandom, I guess, because the show was one thing, but seeing all the different people, all the different kinds of people, and how much it forced me to change my life, it really wanted to make me contribute back.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of my biggest regrets is that I wish I was able to do more and get into things sooner. I always struggle with making friends. I still struggle with making friends. It's one of my regrets within this whole fandom, which is another really good question about thinking back about this stuff is, what do you wish you did?
Spoke up.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times where I saw pretty awful behavior and I just kept my mouth shut because it's not my business.
Yeah.
Or, if you ignore them, they'll go away.
Yeah, they don't. But yeah, it's one of those, I wish I still could reach out more to others and just make more friends, be part of more groups, contribute more. I wish there's a whole bunch of stuff. I really love music. If it's not obvious by now, music is so huge. I wish I could have actually become a musician, but I never do. I keep putting it off.
Yeah. Because I remember early on our podcast, we really tried to downplay any political stuff really hard. Yeah. Our rules kind of don't try no drama, no politics, just keep that down low.
Bad idea.
Yeah, and I think it was actually 2016 that kind of turned around. Like, we're not doing that anymore.
Yeah, we started to see in the world what happens when you ignore the problems. Mm-hmm. They don't go away; they get worse and start taking things out with it. And it's like, no, we have to deal with this. We have to speak up. We have to nip this in the bud. We have to stop these things from happening,
even if people don't like us.
Or it will destroy us. It will destroy the fandom at large if you don't.
Yep. And even if people don't like us for it. And that's
what we've seen. We've seen how many people have left the fandom simply because of those parts that kept getting bigger. And they said, fine, I'm done. I'm out.
Mm.
And that's what happens. It started off, in the beginning, that was a very small part of the fandom. We've always said, oh, that's just a tiny little part of the fandom, you can ignore them. Problem is, it sticks around long enough, everyone else who's tired of dealing with it leaves, fandom shrinks, that part doesn't, it's now by default a bigger portion. And that's not even including the parts that they start absorbing into them. And they do grow. So we've got to deal with it.
Yeah, I just wish we did earlier, because for a long time it's just stay clear of the drama and the politics. We'll just.
I think part of it's the fear.
Fear.
I don't want to speak up because I don't want people to hate me and start yelling at me. I don't want to deal with that, and it's a really big one for me. I'm very much non-confrontational.
Yeah, but
I really don't like dealing with it. I'm not good with it at all.
There comes a point where it's also when you start realizing you also kind of have a stake in this, in the sense of how you're going to be affected if this starts going bad.
Yeah.
That kind of is a wake-up call of like, and also when you start having friends who are going to be negatively affected by it. Like, you're like, you know what? I should probably stand up against this. I need to start saying something, not just keeping my mouth shut. So, it's like, now I'm openly talking about it. And it's like, we've had people yell at us. We've had people upset with us. We've lost subscribers and followers before, but you know what?
We posted cringe and we lost subscriber.
Yep. That's the thing. It was just like, we've had, some people have posted some pretty negative comments before because we started to not just fall in line and forgive the guy who spewed transphobia or whatever.
Yeah.
We're like, no.
Like, I've always held the belief that no one's irredeemable, but you've really got to make an effort to get redeemed. And most of them haven't. So it's like, I'm not gonna let someone back into my area of acceptable people if they've done something horrible just because they said sorry. I mean, if it's like a really simple thing, it usually wouldn't be considered unacceptable. But you do something like that, you're gonna have to really show that you've changed. And it's like most of them haven't, or they at least I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
This fandom's had its
ups and downs.
This past 10 years, there's a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah.
A lot of regrets, but a lot of really good things. Yeah, there's stuff that I'd like to have gone differently, but I'm overall, I don't regret being part of this fandom, and I'm still happy to be part of it.
Yeah.
I would still fight for it. What's here?
Like, we're still at the point of like, we don't know what the future of friendship or My Little Pony is going to be, but we'll find out. Maybe.
It would be really hard for me to say I'm not part of it anymore.
Yeah.
Or I don't want to be part of it, mainly because I know that it can be good and I want it to be good, and also that I don't have a huge amount of other places. I want to be part of something. I really like what this does. It's done so much for me. I want it to continue in a good way.
Yeah.
So I want to fight for it to stick around. I will be a stick in the mud and say, no, I'm not going to let the Nazis take over.
I guess that's a lot.
We're well over, but I figured that was probably going to be the case.
So I guess that's the end of that discussion, just because, I don't want to do this for 3 hours. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we totally could, but
not going to. But we're going to move on to fan content, which does include, of course, music.
Yes, I do have a song. Funny thing, this song literally popped up the morning of recording. So first one, it's Loophoof and Rectifier remix of The Magic of Friendship Grows. I figured this is timely. Oh, of course, this is released on the anniversary, so it's very timely. It's this song. It's still it still hits so hard. But the opening of the song, I absolutely love it. It's calm, mellow, just like the original one, but it's got this sort of like organ-ish type sound to it that fits perfectly. It also sounds like the song's been slightly tempoed down, but I'm not entirely certain. I have to compare it.
Yeah.
But right after that, it moves into this big synth, and I say big because it just expands, this room-filling bigness to it, but it's also not hyper. It's just really cool, and it's got these subtle arpeggios to it that are just, it's really good.
Yeah.
Sound design, the loophoof is amazing when it comes to it. The sound design is amazing. Everything meshes with the original lyrics and words and such like that. And yeah, while it gets really big, it also drops away and gets quiet when it needs to let that emotion flow through.
Right.
Also, the ending, when they of course do the theme song bit, this one's done with the music box in it.
Yeah.
It's chef's kiss. It's perfect.
Yeah, I did notice the church organ sound at the beginning and whatnot. That was a pretty good way to introduce it. There's a lot of good percussion stuff in here as well. And yeah, I also like the music box stuff. I noticed it before the ending as well. There's some music box style stuff before the ending, but yeah. Really well done remix.
Very well done.
Yeah, so that's your song.
Yep.
Yeah, fan fiction. I, once again, do not have anything new. It's just, it's been struggle times for fan fiction, I swear. You know, It's just, everything's just subpar or uninteresting for me.
Music
anyway.
was kind of thin this last couple of weeks, but I think that's because there's an album about to drop, I think, next week.
For me, it's I don't know what it is, but the last few months, it's just been fan fiction. I've been struggling to find anything. I'm just like, yeah, it's really good. I should share it. Everything's like, yeah, it's all right, or almost, but not quite. But a couple things did update, though. First thing is A Beautiful Night got 4 new chapters and finished out of nowhere after a year of nothing. Yeah, literally, it's been a year. Yeah, because end first act posted 20th September 2019. Then The Question Part 1 posted 28th September 2020.
Yep, a year.
Yeah, so that threw me because it's done already, I guess, because you see that last chapter read is like end first act, so you're thinking the more. No, wait, nope. Yeah, it's basically in this Pinkie and Twilight ready to get their relationship going to the next level, and Twilight's a little fretful about it because of course she is, and they engaged and married. Good old if you remember Pirates of the Caribbean 2, the very while fighting get married real fast by Cadence, and they beat the big bad with a big huge equestria wide struggle and everything.
They dropped the sun on her.
Yeah.
Like they said they would.
Twilight literally threw a sun, made a new sun and threw it at Nightmare Moon.
Yep.
And now they're living in a reality where they have to accept there is no Alicorn to do this for them anymore. So,
Yep.
So, yep. Also, Twilight just really wants to fade into obscurity, please. Thanks very much.
Yep.
So, yeah, it was actually overall a very solid fic. As after I refreshed myself a bit, I was like, what is this exactly? I don't remember. I remember kind of it, but okay. Yeah, much like their previous Twiluna fic, it was very, very nice to read.
It was definitely enjoyable.
And yeah, the other thing that updated was Out of This World got a new chapter, and which, let's see, it was lots of fighting.
Lots of
fake Celestias. Yeah, stomping on bugs, literally.
Stomping on bugs, yep. And slicing them with a knife.
Yep. A knife! Sunset will be in Pony Life, and she will have a knife.
And she will have a knife.
I'm expecting things for season 2, guys. You know Sunset? What you have to deliver.
Where's her knife?
Give me Sunset with her knife. Give me my knife wife.
You and your knife wife.
Yep.
Z.
I like knives.
Can't have more than one waifu.
But I've already destroyed my waifu. But yeah, it's basically lots of fighting with the changelings and whatnot. Yep. And then another cliffhanger. And apparently we're getting close to the end. According to the author, we got 4 chapters left.
Yep. It's definitely got the feeling of starting to get to that final climax. Final one.
Yep. So, that's the fan fiction stuff this week, as far as I can tell. I'm double checking, making sure nothing else updated on me with, because I already got shocked because, wait, Beautiful Night got more chapters?
This morning.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, nothing else new. Go on. Okay.
Yeah, I got nothing new. Well,
so,
I got one thing new, but different.
That's the end of this very long episode, which makes sense because of, well, it's a milestone.
Very special episode.
I'm just going to go cry now because this means I'm going to have to edit all this.
Edit it.
Very fast. If you liked what you heard, you can check out past and future episodes at pony411.libsyn.com. Just check that out. There's a RSS feed you subscribe to, and also pretty much every single destination is linked somewhere on that page if you want to check out other ways. And usually they're way shorter than this, I promise.
We usually try to keep under an hour, but
again, sometimes
this is special.
Yep, special time here. But yeah, you could also find the episodes on Deezer, apparently. Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and YouTube. Not going to even mention the other one because apparently it's actually dying this month.
Oh, hey. About time.
That's what I've been told anyway. You can find us on any of those. Search for Pony411 or click the links at the top of the Libsyn page. YouTube, you can like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff.
Click the bell.
Yep, click bells. Because you got to click the bells.
Got to click the bells.
Yeah, those are the ways to find us there. You could also find us on Ponyville Live. For now, as long as that website holds together, I guess that's a thing.
Yes.
Yeah, and there's also, of course, Ponyville FM, where you can find us every Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. We are there, along with the live DJs and various amounts of music throughout the rest of the week. If you want to check those out as well. If you want to contact us, you can do so via email, pony411podcast@gmail.com. Questions, comments, criticisms. What are your experiences of the fandom? What is anything that in particular you remember about the last 10 years?
Yeah.
Any big events?
Tell us your favorite moments and even, regrets.
Yeah, all that
stuff you wish you did. Stuff like that. Tell us how your origin stories.
Yep. How did you get in the show?
Yep.
Why not?
What about the show? What about the fandom?
Yep.
Let us know.
What all this stuff? Yeah, that's a thing. And of course, you can find us on Facebook. Like us there. Facebook.com/pony411. New episodes will be released there as they come out. Surprise. And we're also on Twitter at pony411. You can follow us, retweet us, like us. New episodes will be mentioned there as well, if you like. And they're also on personal Twitters. I'm at Nemesis Prime 1, and he's at Alca7raz and an underscore at the end. More Transformers for me.
And lots of Twidash. There's an artist that's been drawing lots of Twidash, and it's wonderful.
Oh, yeah, and of course, we still got our other podcast. If you're interested in anime at all, we're New to Weeaboo. You can follow us at New to Weeaboo there, see new episodes. We just watched a horror movie that was kind of bad.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was a ripoff of what? Well, we find out. You can find out if you listen to that anime podcast, which you should. I think that's the end of this episode.
Yep.
We're going to go back to a monthly schedule for a while because I don't want to freak out over finding stuff every other week again because there's nothing new. No Pony Life, no Friendship's Magic. Comics are pretty much monthly anyway, so...
Yeah. So send us things if you want us to talk about stuff. It might make things more interesting.
We'll see you again in November. Early November?
Remember.
Yes, of course.
Well, maybe we really should, and maybe we should, remember that governments should be afraid of their people.
But anyway, until then, please pony responsibly, guys.
See ya.
See you later.